Today we're going to be talking about data distributions. The first thing we're going to talk about today is mean. The mean is the sum of the values in a set divided by the number of values in the set. You might know this better as the average. The median is the middle value when the values are in numerical order. Or if there's an even number of values, it's the mean of the two middle values. The mode is the value or values that occur most often. There may be one mode, more than one mode, or no mode. The range is the difference between the least and greatest values. Now, what we want to do is we want to find the mean, median, mode, and range of each data set. So here we have 1, 5, 7, 2, and 3. So to find the mean, we're going to add 1 plus 5 plus 7 plus 2 plus 3. And we are going to divide that by, there are 5 values. So we end up with 18 divided by 5, which gives us 3.6 for our mean. Now for the median. For the median, we have to order the data from least to greatest. So we're going to write 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7. And the median is our middle value if we have an odd number of values, which we do. So our median is 3. The mode is the value that occurs the most often, and if you notice in this case there is no one value that occurs more than the others. So we're going to say there is no mode. And the range is simply the highest number minus the lowest number, so 7 minus 1, which gives us 6. Let's move on to another set of data. We're going to be doing the same thing here, mean, median, mode, and range. To find the mean, we want to add together our values, and we divide by the number of values that we have, which in this case is 6. So again, this is the mean. And if we add together these numbers, we end up with 91 divided by 6, which gives us 15.16 repeating. So there's your mean. The median we're going to find by putting our values in order. So we're going to have 12, 12, 14, 17, 18, and 18. And notice we have an even number of values. So we want to take our two middle values. There is no one middle value, there are two, and we are going to find the mean of those numbers. So we're going to add 14 plus 17 together and divide by 2, and when we do that we end up with 15.5 is our median. Okay. The next thing, we need to find our modes. Now, again, the mode is the value or values that occur the most. Notice that both 12 and 18 occur twice. So we have two modes in this case. So the modes are 12 and 18. And lastly, the range is your highest value minus the lowest value. So we have 18 minus 12, which gives us 6. Just to move on to give you a little bit of vocabulary, an outlier. An outlier is a value that is very different from the other values in the set. It could be an extremely high or an extremely low value. And these are things that you're going to be coming across today or next class when we actually are working on some problems in class. So just keep that in mind, an extremely high value or an extremely low value. Now next, we're going to talk about choosing a measure of central tendency, which one is best. So we're going to move on to this next page to do that. Josh scored 75, 75, 81, 84, and 85 on 5 tests. Use the mean, median, and mode of his scores to answer each question. Well, I'm not going to write everything out, but if I add together 75, 75, 81, 84, and 85, I get 400. If I divide it by 5, which is the number of tests he took, we get an 80. Now notice these numbers are already in order, so I can just pick the middle number for my median. My median in this case is 81. The mode is the number that occurs the most often, so that would be 75. And it asks which value describes the score Josh received the most often. Well, that's the definition of the mode, so that would be 75. And then it says which value best describes Josh's scores. Well, in this case, if you look at his scores and you look at the mean of 80 and the median of 81, and the mode was 75, it seems that the median is what describes Josh's scores best. I would say that because the mean is actually lowered by those two scores of 75. So we're going to say the median, because the mean is lowered by the two scores of 75. Okay. Mode wouldn't work in this case because mode is just representing the lowest score. Okay. Excuse me. The next, quartiles. Divide a data set into 4 equal parts. Each quartile contains 1/4 of the values in the set, or 1/4, hence the word quartile. The interquartile range, which we abbreviate IQR, is the difference between the upper and lower quartiles. Now, we're going to use this information to make a box and whisker plot, and I'm sure that many of you have done this before. Now, what I've done is I've actually put our data in order from lowest to highest, or least to greatest. And what we do first, number one, is find the median. That's the reason I put the data in order. So we want to find the median. Notice we have an even number of values here. So let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So let's count 7 in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And here are our 2 middle values. So we have 6 above and 6 below. Okay? And so we are actually looking for the median here, which falls between these two numbers. The mean of 5 and 6 would be 5.5. So there's your, I'm sorry, the median would be 5.5. Now what we want to do is actually find the numbers that fall on each side of that median. What we want to do is actually find the median of the upper and lower values. So 5.5 is right smack in the middle. Okay? So we want to find the median of the upper values. So I'm going to write that down. Find the median of the upper and lower values. All right. Now remember, the median's right here in the middle. Actually, I'll change colors so we can see this a little bit better. So we want the median of this set of data from 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9. So notice we have 7 values, so we want to pick the value that's right smack in the middle, which in this case is 7. Now, the median of the upper values has a special name. We call it the third quartile. All right, so that is 7. We now want to find the median of the lower values. So of 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. So the number that is right smack in the middle is 3. So that has a special name again. That is called the first quartile. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take all of this information and we are going to put this into a box and whisker plot. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a line. And we want to actually list some values here. I'm going to start mine at 0. And I'm going to go up in increments of 1. Okay, I'm going to stop here. I need to make sure that I have all of my data covered. So my data goes from 1 to 9, and yes, that is definitely covered here. Now what we're going to do is start by making a mark where the median would lie. Now the median is 5.5, so we're going to make a line right here where the median would be of 5.5. We're going to make another line where the first quartile is, which is 3. Another line where the third quartile is, which is 7. And we're going to make a box around all of that. Okay, I didn't make it very straight, but you get the idea. Now, we want to now make a mark where the lowest values and the highest values are. Well, the lowest value is 1, so we'll make a mark. And our highest value is 9. And we're going to make what's called the whiskers going out to those points. That tells us our data extends from 1 to 9. Where the box is our middle 50% of the values. So you can tell that half of your data falls between 3 and 7. Okay, so you can see where it seems to be clustering. Now, the last thing, so this is your box and whisker plot. The last thing is I want to show you how the interquartile range works. And I said that the interquartile range is just equal to the difference between the upper and lower quartile. So you're going to take the third quartile minus the first quartile. And you'll see a little more about how, this is just the basics here that I'm showing you. You're going to see more about how this works in class when we actually do some practical problems involving this information. These are just the basics. So the the third quartile is, 7. Oh, I wrote that down. 7. And our first quartile is 3. So 7 minus 3 gives you 4, and that is the interquartile range. So that is it for today. Thank you very much for joining me.